What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Business Download Clean Energy's EV Wrap-Up. I'm Antonio. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. Also, leave a comment on your favorite story. I want to hear it. All right, let's get started. Ford's on the download for the 100th week in a row. That's what it feels like, at least. So they came out with their Mustang Mach-E, adding to the electric crossover craze. They came out with its E-Transit delivery vehicle, which they stated to have at least 450 businesses interested in. And of course, last week we debuted the F-150 Lightning. They had their big showcase and up went their stock. What could be next? Maybe it's Ford's president of the Americas saying that this is just the start. Easily. Next on the list is a joint venture between Ford and South Korea's SK Innovation Co., building 2 battery plants in the US in locations to be determined. SK Innovation already supplies the batteries for the Lightning, so you can say they have a pretty good relationship. The joint venture will be called Blue Oval SK, referring to Ford's logo, and will add to the emerging EV infrastructure. More to come on this when more is out, and you know where to find me. When I think of a motorcycle, I usually picture chrome, noise, and gas. Well, American startup Tarform has turned my imagination upside down. I'm not even into motorcycles that much, but these got me changing my mind a little bit. The exterior of these bikes are minimalistic and sleek, giving it that futuristic feel. Some parts of the exterior are drawn from the vintage Cafe Racer, minus the motor, of course. As far as the performance specs go, the bike can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Its range extends to 120 miles, and you can get about 80% charge in 50 minutes. The bike being electric wasn't sustainable enough for the company, so they took it even a step further. The bodywork is made from a flaxseed weave, and the overall engineering of the bike avoids the use of plastics. The seat is made up of a biodegradable vegan leather, and they also are testing methods to avoid paints and primers, instead trying to find an algae and iron-based solution. Between the biodegradable seat and the algae paint, sounds like you might need a cave to store this thing. So let's say you've been driving for a few hundred miles and you realize you're running low on, don't say gas because you're driving an EV. So you're running low on energy and you need to stop and fill up. So you get out, plug in, and what do you do for the next 30 to 90 minutes while you're waiting? Well, Audi is starting a pilot program to make that experience a convenient one. They're looking at plans to construct an Audi charging hub. Here, Audi owners will be able to book a charger and a time slot to fill up. While they're waiting for their EV to be charged, they can just meander upstairs to the lounge where they'll find snacks, drinks, possibly shops and restaurants. Concept's still in its early stages, so who knows what'll be up there. Elon had a great performance on SNL a few weeks back, but now he's back to work and tweeting, of course. Last Thursday, Elon said in a tweet, Tesla Model S Plaid delivery event June 3rd at a California factory. Fastest production car ever. 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. Pretty sweet and to the point, eh? The Model S Plaid is an updated version of Tesla's electric sedan that's been in production since 2012. Since then, there's been a few debut false alarms. Like in September 2019, Tesla promoted and promised Plaid versions of the Model S, but then tweeted that the powertrain was about a year out from production. Then again in February, Joe Rogan brought Elon onto his podcast where Elon said the car would start shipping later that month. But I don't recall that happening either. But finally, we have a date. We have a location, and we have a spec sneak peek. That sounds insane. The ambiguity has left the building, and you can't have the people waiting any longer. On last week's download, we gave Lamborghini the concluding spotlight and talked a little bit about Ferrari when comparing the two supercar manufacturers, but we gotta give Ferrari some more love too. Back in 2013, the company came out with the LaFerrari, a hybrid 2-door coupe with 950 horsepower that cost more than $1.2 million when debuted. Well, now they're bringing the hybrid back, except this time it'll be a plug-in. The SPF90, that's not right, that's a sunscreen. The SF90 Stradale is Ferrari's new hybrid model, coming out with 986 horsepower and a price around $500,000. What a deal. The power bump comes from a new control module for the 4-liter twin-turbo V8, allowing the car to hit speeds of 217 miles per hour. I feel like you just start flying at that point. The OG LaFerrari was limited to 499 units sold and was twice the cost. So since the Stradale is half the price, they threw that scarcity effect out the window and made it available to the masses. Maybe just the masses that could drop $500,000 on a supercar. Anyway, that's all we have for you this week on the Business Download Clean Energy's EV Wrap-Up. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.